For several months, I've been thinking about downsizing my arc haul to something a little bit smaller, because as I've upgraded my gear, I have reduced the amount of volume in a backpack that I actually need. And so I think I've mentioned it in videos. I even had a post on the community page about it. I've talked to my hiking friends about it, and finally, and I've kind of gone back and forth on it. There was one point where I just thought, I'm just not going to do it. I'll just make do with the arc haul. And finally I decided, you know what, I just really want to downsize it and make it smaller. And so I put in a little bit of time doing research and got it narrowed down, I think, to where I wanted it, made that order, and this is it. So in this video, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do an unboxing, kind of give my first impression of it, and I'm going to take the gear that I would normally carry in my arc haul and put in this backpack and just see how it fits and give you my impression of the new volume that I have to work with. So stick around. Every time I do this, where I'm unboxing something, especially something that's kind of expensive, I get a knife to cut the tape, and I am terrified of cutting the contents. So if you read what was on the video description, which I assume is why you clicked on this video, you already know what it is. All right, so they have it all wrapped up tight, and all the buckles snapped. They have it reduced as much as they can get it so that it would fit in a, I guess, the smallest possible box. Yeah, I think the volume on this is going to be fine. Now it's just going to be a matter of taking my stuff and put it in here and seeing what works on it. A couple of the things, just full disclosure, when I bought this, this is the pack that I was feeling like most would fit my needs, or would come more closely to fitting my needs and what I was thinking about doing. But that's not to say that I thought this pack was 100% exactly, with every detail, what I wanted. There were a couple of things that I have questions about and continue to have questions about, even with unboxing it. You know, among those are the pouches on the shoulder straps and the pouches on the hip belt. So I'll be interested to see how that works out, and also the pouches. Wow, that's tight. The pouches on the sides where you would put your water, and what the volume of the stretchy material on the back is going to be like. So I still have questions. Not 100% satisfied that this is going to meet every need and be the absolute perfect, ideal, without any question pack, but I do have really high hopes. Among other things, one of the things I'm really excited about this pack is the fabric that it's made from. This is the Ultra 200, which is waterproof. The thing on this pack that's not waterproof, though, are the seams, because the seams are not taped. So in a heavy downpour, water is going to come in, and water then will drain out through the seams toward the bottom. So even though a little bit of splashing water on it would be pretty close to waterproof, because it's not going to go through the fabric, it's not 100% waterproof because of the lack of seam taping. Now, for a lot of packs, that might be a problem, or for a lot of backpackers, that might be a problem. It's not a problem for me because I've been using a pack liner for so long now that I don't even give that a second thought. I would use a pack liner even if I thought this was 100% absolutely waterproof. If you dunked it in the ocean up to 1,000 meters, I would still be using a pack liner. All right, so let's go relocate to my gear closet and let's get this packed with all the stuff that I would normally put in my arc haul and see how that goes with the volume of this pack. All right, so I am up here at my gear closet, and I have laid out here most of the gear that I typically take on most of my hikes. There are a couple of what you might think of as luxury items that are not here. And what I wanted to see was, do I have room in that pack for everything that I used to carry in that pack? And so that's the plan now. Let's see what will fit, make sure everything will fit, and see if there's room for any additional luxury items that I like to take sometimes. So as I said at the beginning, this is not fully waterproof. So the thing to start off with is a pack liner. I always use just trash compactor bags, and so that's what I have. Actually, I've been using this one now for over a year, and it still is in perfect condition. So I'm going to use this to begin with. So one of the differences here that I'm going to have to consider is how I pack this, because I have really gotten used to, with the Arc Haul, the Arc feature, which, by the way, if you've ever wondered, it's legit. That Arc feature is wonderful for keeping the pack off your back. But I've gotten used to that. And so I'm not accustomed to something having the potential of poking me in the back. So I'm going to have to pack now with that in mind, that there is that potential. The first thing to go at the bottom will be the sleeping bag. Yeah, and already I can tell you that there is not as much room width-wise. The Arc Haul was wider, and so I had more room to stuff, especially clothes, extra socks, my puffy, that kind of thing. It would need to go inside the pack liner. So I've got to make sure now, with not having the extra width, of course, this is lower volume. Knew that going into it. I've just got to make sure that I pack this right so that I take up all the extra nooks and crannies. In fact, speaking of which, let's go ahead and do that first. I'll go ahead and pack my puppy down at the bottom. By the way, I am going hiking next weekend, and so this might be a test run for getting this packed up for that trip. All right, that might actually be the only thing that goes inside the pack liner, so I'll roll that up. Put in there the three things that I typically put in that mesh pocket. That's my rain gear, my water filter, and my poop kit. Yeah. All right, that's better. Boy, it's stuffed full. By the way, if you hear something in my voice, I've been sick for about the last 3 or 4 days, and I'm just now starting to get over it, but you can still hear it. My electronics bag, my front door mat, my tent, which can flatten down pretty small, my food bag, and of course, this food and the contents, it's not packed up the way I would for a trip, but I have my cook kit, and I just put some stuff in it just to take up some space. Cinch that down tight. And there is more space in here. I do not have this, I don't have it full with what would be a typical load for a weekend trip, which is what I'm going to be doing next weekend. So very encouraged by this. And if I do a bigger trip, a longer trip that's going to have a longer food carry where I need more space, I think this still meets the requirement that I'll have enough space to make that carry. And if not, I still have the Arc Haul, even though my son Handyman, as soon as he found out I was ordering this one, he already laid claim to it. Kids. I still have the shoulder straps and the waist belt pouches. It looks like the 0.7 liter bottle will fit in here. And so for right now, I would say that's good. This will satisfy what I need. Recently on that 80-mile section hike of the Pinhoti, I did not take a chair, and I was really strategic about that because I knew that the days were going to be long and they were going to be spent hiking, and basically once I got to camp, it was just going to be a matter of set up camp, eat, and go lay down. There wasn't going to be a whole lot of laying around camp, enjoying camp. So for that reason, I didn't take it, but on this trip, I will be taking it. And so I've got to figure out, how do I carry it? Do I carry it on the side, in the side pocket, or do I put it across the top? And we'll see about how that might carry. Cinch that down. Because there are side compression straps, it makes it possible and really convenient to be able to put long items in the pocket on the side, even though it would fall out without the side compression, because you can put it behind the side compression and it just stays in place. I also have the one trekking pole that I carry, and I carry this, of course, to use as a trekking pole, but I also have a trekking pole tent that requires one pole, and so I have to carry it even though I don't always use it as a trekking pole. All right, one luxury item that I always carry is the nighttime pee bottle, and it never goes inside my pack. All right, so let's see how this fits. Yeah, I definitely had to loosen some things up. A couple of initial observations. This fits really comfortably, and I don't know, you won't know until you get on trail and put in some miles, probably 2 or 3 trips to really make a valid judgment about it. But here are a couple of things just initially. It feels really good on my back. I like the way the hip belt feels. I like the way the shoulder straps are constructed, and with the load lifters tightened up, which by the way is tough for me because I'm not as flexible as I used to be. But all of that is working really well for me right now. A couple of other observations. I'm probably going to have to lower the sternum strap a little bit. It just feels high right here, but all of this is adjustable. When I first got the water bottle sleeves, one of the things I was concerned about was it being too high and having to adjust it so that it wasn't all up in my face. This right here feels all up in my face. And so I may not use this sleeve for a water bottle. I might use one of the chicken tramper bottles I've got to put over this because I don't really, I want to have a water bottle here, but this doesn't feel right. So, and trying to put it back here is going to be problematic for me just because I'm not, I don't have a lot of mobility in my shoulders. The hip belt pouches are exactly as they were advertised and the way other people have said. Super easy to operate with just one hand. You do not have to do this contortionist thing to get over here to it. So right now, really satisfied with that. And again, I like the way this load feels on me right now. This just feels right. It feels like it's distributed right. And of course, that might have to do with the way I packed it, but it might also have to do with the way this pack is constructed. This just feels really good. All right, so those are my initial thoughts on the Durston Gear Kakwa 40. I'm really looking forward to trying this out, and there will be a review coming up after I've had a chance to use it, but these are my my unboxing and initial impression views on it. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.